What is up? Welcome back to the stream. We have some leveling up to do. They have achieved experience points from last session that they have not yet had a chance to utilize. So now that the party has left Willard's Mill and found this kind of downtime, now's a good time to get our characters up to level 2. So let's head over to this screen. Let's roll some HP, baby. I think everyone leveled up last time, so we have a lot of HP rolls to go.
Yep. I've chosen to roll overtaking the average because it's more fun.
Good.
And my wife wanted to brag. In one of the campaigns that I ran, she ended up at like level 8 with 67 HP or something because she rolled so ridiculously
That is
well
awesome.
on her.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can roll for HP or take the average.
Really?
I won't make you do one or the other. I do support rolling. I like rolling.
Okay. I'm going to roll mine. Here we are, fingers crossed. Not a 1. Oh. Did it do it?
It's a 2.
It's a 2.
It's
the universe
the second
heard
worst
you.
thing you can roll.
Ready? I'm gonna roll mine.
That's very sad.
I called it! I called it!
Alright.
Frail little Emily.
Not unless Greg allows rerolls on 1s.
Nope, you roll a 1, you got a 1.
Wow.
You get a choice to take the average or roll. You roll a 1, man.
Yep.
Alright, for Janlar. There we go.
7 HP.
Oh god. Well, if we're all
The
rolling.
wizard gained
Yes!
gained almost as many hit points as the barbarian did.
Oh, yes.
Glorious. 8 more
We're
points.
swapping.
For,
We're swapping frontliners next week.
Yeah.
Genline goes in the
With
frontline.
mage armor and a shield, or a shield spell, I could
Yeah.
make some stuff for us. And I'm selecting abjuration magic, so that'll be another
Nice.
7 HP.
Alrighty. Awesome. Speaking of your specialization, I don't believe you get your specialization bonuses at level 2 yet. I think you get your
No, you
school
don't.
at level 3.
You get school at level 2.
School at level 2. Excellent. So you are an abjuration specialist. So you have the benefits that go with that. You also get 2 spells of your choice for any spell level that you have slots for. I believe you only have 4 level 1 spell slots. So what spells are you taking?
I'm taking Grease and Ray of Sickness.
Perfect. They are yours. Over the course of your studies as a seeker, you have taken a knowledge of Grease and Ray of Sickness. They are in your spell book now, perfected and ready to be unleashed upon some unsuspecting saps. Excellent. Faye, you are a druid. You get the access to your circle. You can choose your circle now if you'd like, or you can choose your circle after the initiation. You have access to the powers if you choose it, but then you're going to be locked into that choice for the initiation, right?
Right. No, I think I want to do the initiation and then see
All right.
what feels
So
best.
you don't have your circle, but you've got some extra features and HP to play with. Barbs. I don't believe you get anything cool. Reckless attack.
I get reckless attack and I get danger sense, so I have
Perfect.
advantage on dex saves
Perfect.
against like things that I can see.
Nice. And our good old bard
But
Emily.
my primal path is level.
I switched out one spell for another, and I get an extra level 1 spell. I no longer have Charm Person. I have taken Healing Word.
Okay. All right, there you go. So, you are all leveled up. The 5 of you and Horse Dog begin your march out into the Grass Sea. You leave the old road and the hills behind and begin traveling out into a plain. You'll see the plain up above the hills. the grass starts out very low and normal plain, but as you make your way a few miles out past the hills, you see waving grass growing up higher than the chest of the oxen. It is a veritable sea of grass just waving in the plains. It is slow going with the carts. There are some small kind of paths or trails that Horse Dog seems to know how to get to, that allows the carts to travel at a reasonable pace, but it is slow and winding. Despite it being the fall and it being cool, the sun does kind of beat down here in the grass sea, and you feel the rays of the heat kind of bearing down. You begin to sweat. It's a long kind of trudging path through here. What do you guys do as you travel during the day with Horse Dog?
I'll be playing the harp while sitting on top of the cart. Like, do we have a cover on top of ours, or is it on Horse Dog's? Because I'll sit at the highest point so I can keep an eye out for the grass moving irregularly. But other than that,
sure. Yeah, you're kind of keeping a watch up top. Your wagon that you got from the Split Tails is not covered so much. This is just like a big box that the oxen kind of draw, and you have your stuff in it. Horse Dog's is a traditionally big covered wagon, and it is covered up and painted on the side with Horse Dog's Emporium. The rest of you, what are you doing as you travel?
I'm probably looking through my spell book.
It's like fields of wheat, right?
Not quite wheat.
Or
wild
tall
grasses, tall grasses. Yeah, and like the name, they're chest high on the oxen and just spreading out as far as your eye can see after you get a few miles out into it.
Gormac will be like grazing. Like, if he passes a particularly succulent-looking blade of grass, he'll be like, ooh, and he'll like pick that and start chewing on that one until he finds another one, and ooh, just grab that one.
Okay, excellent.
I think at some point I would. Yeah, at some point I would also nudge Gormac and I say, Chief Gormac, you're pretty good with this, right? And I point at your whip.
I mean, I guess. Why?
Could you teach me how you use that? Because, and I I do this with my arm. I shake it a little bit, and the vine comes loose again, and I try to do a little whip with the vine I have, but it's not very, it's very thin and very meek, and I'm like, I have this, and I was wondering, it looked similar to what you're using, and I thought maybe you could show me.
Oh, I mean, I've never taught anyone how to do something before, but yeah, probably.
That would be nice.
Gormac will take out his whip and he'll be like, all right, you do this, and he whips it around and cracks it really loud, and it probably startles the hell out of the oxen.
It sure does. Yeah, the oxen get a little burst of speed as they lurch forward. And Horse Dog kind of looks over, is like, hey, careful with that.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess we fall a tiny little bit back behind the group, just not too far, but just a little bit not to startle anybody.
Sure.
And I do my rather still rather embarrassing little whips.
All right. Well, as you are traveling along, you begin practicing and learning the whip. Emily plays the harp. Janlar apparently just floats in the ether.
I'm absentmindedly looking through my spell book.
I was just kidding. I'm busting your balls, dude. You're looking through your spell book. Emily, please give me a perception check as you travel through the sea of grass.
Can I get advantage because I was actively keeping an eye out?
You get to check because you are actively keeping an eye out.
Damn! I'll try lawyer myself.
All right, so Emily, you see off to the west of the trail you are following that there is a small kind of clearing in the grass sea, and there is a fairy circle grown round a like 12 to 15 foot diameter, and around this fairy circle there's just a nice clearing of low grass. Nothing grew as super high, and you can just kind of see it as you're looking out as you pass by. What does this interest you? What do you make of this?
It does. I'll yell out to the party and the trader, and I'm like, "There's a fairy circle out in the grass, like over there," and I'm just like pointing.
Yes, yeah, you'll find some fairy circles around here. Do you know much about it? Do you need to go check it out? We have a fair bit of day to go, but you could. We could stop for some time if you need be. I need a good meal anyway.
Well, have something to eat. We'll be back in a minute.
Ha! Excellent. And he like pulls the reins up on his oxen, rubs his hands greedily together, and waddles his way to the back of his cart.
Gormak's gonna watch and see what he eats. He told us he wasn't human.
He takes you spend some time to watch, and he takes like a big chunk of what just looks like raw ore, and begins like going at it like an apple. And then he looks up and sees you watching him, and just kind of quietly closes the canvas.
Gormak's actually probably got like a long blade of grass that he's like kind of slowly working on as.
I'm just standing next to Gormak and I'm opening my tiny etiquette book and I'm like, apparently it's pretty rude to stare at people while they're eating.
I just have this image of Gormak like chewing, and then he sees him grab the ore and take a bite, and he's just like,
Gormak will be like, "You're right, Rose. You're right." And I'll just turn and be like,
just see me like a good 10 feet above the grass, just like potting my way along.
Let's see. What do I have? Bedroll, mess kit, tinderbox, a shovel.
Let's not burn the grass sea.
Yeah. I'll set up. I'll stick the shovel like in the ground, like 10 feet away from me and Rose, and then kind of like put the sack over the top of it to make like a little like practice dummy type looking deal.
Oh, that's nice.
And I'll be like, I'll tell Rose, I'm like, okay, now that we're not moving, try and hit that with your whip.
Right. Well, I guess I try to hit it with the whip, but I don't get. So the problem is when the whip is technically straight attached to your arm, right? You might not let go at the right moment. So what she does is like she tries to whip it from the right side, and the whip just slams around her eyes and just slaps like just around it and around the back of her neck. It just goes like flip, and she's like, oh, I don't think I did it right.
Gormak will like look at that and go, how quickly can you retract it?
I don't know. I haven't tried that very often. How fast do I have to be? And I guess they just go into like these technicalities as the pixies on a way.
So Rose
Gormak's solution for her getting herself with it would be to like extend it, and then right as it hits max range, just pull it back like into her so that it can't wrap around her face.
All right. So it sounds like Rose and Gormac are getting very engrossed in this whip training. Emily, you've spotted this fairy circle off and called to a stop. Janlar, are you going
I'm following
to?
Emily.
Okay, so you and Janlar take off and begin making your way to this fairy circle, leaving your more bullish companions behind to practice their whipping. I was proud of that. Thank you. You arrive in the clearing, and sure enough, there's a fairy circle about 10 or 12 feet in diameter. The mushrooms that are growing are white with little like kind of rings of red around the bell of the mushroom. They grow in little clusters of 4 to 7 in each little kind of cluster, and they're just headed out there.
I turn to you and I'm like, do you know? Can we eat those mushrooms?
Not sure. I don't eat mushrooms that are. I just randomly find in the forest.
Well, I do. Can I roll survival?
You roll survival for what? What are you trying to do here?
I wanna identify if the mushrooms are edible.
You want to identify if the mushrooms are edible. Okay. Sure. I would make a survival roll. Yeah, I think this is just survival wisdom. I don't think this is anything special.
12?
Okay.
Oh, it
You
should be 13. I really need to modify this.
should be 13. All right.
Because I'm a jack of all trades.
Ah, yes. So, you're pretty darn sure that these mushrooms are, in fact, edible, but then being part of a fairy circle gives you pause. You know, as a fey creature yourself, that mushrooms in a fairy circle are imbued with special properties. So eating them kind of willy-nilly might be a poor choice, but they are definitely edible. If you needed them for sustenance, this would be possible.
I want to pick a little one, obviously, because I'm a little lady. And I want to... How can I discern what is it going to do to me? Screw it, I'll eat one. I'll eat the smallest one I can find.
All right, you go up to the fairy circle and you grab the smallest mushroom of a bunch you can find, and you just chow down. For a moment, you feel satiated and full, and you're like, "Oh, that was a good mushroom." But then, almost 5 minutes later, probably sooner than that, a couple minutes after you eat it, you begin to feel just unbelievably itchy in like your stomach. Like it's ridiculous. And as you look down, you see that along your stomach there's a little circular rash forming, very red with white bumps around it that have formed. And it seems to be quite irritating and spreading. You see the redness of the rash kind of down your throat where you swallowed, and along your hands and lips where you touched the thing. But in your stomachs particularly is where it has formed first.
I like turn and I'm like holding up like my I've got armor on, don't I? No, I've just got clothes. Like I hold up my shirt and I'm like, if I die now, you can say I did the thing.
Adorable.
All right. Is that all the investigation of the circle that you wish to do?
As I am a fey creature,
Sure.
can I kind of like get an idea? Obviously, I'm probably going to be so distracted by being itchy. I kind of want to get the idea of, is there any like, let me see, like sign or a meaning to like the shape of it? Because obviously I can look down on the shape of the
Yeah, the circle is kind of a standard circle. Why don't you, being a fey creature, give me a history check at advantage to determine the nature of fairy circles? Seems like what's what you want here.
11.
Okay. You know that fairy circles have been used for many reasons throughout the history of the Fae. This one in particular doesn't tickle your noggin. Some have been used as portals or as ways of travel. Some have been used to help guide meditation or to show visions of future events or other places. There are sometimes used as a way to hide from predators or foes. This one in particular, it seems like it's beyond your specific knowledge. You don't know what this ring here is for.
Okay. Well, I feel like I need to leave something here, like, because obviously I took something from here. So I'm gonna grab a reed and like weave it, and then just put it in the spot where I took the mushroom. I'm like, okay, we're good to go now.
Alrighty, excellent. You are itchy and the rash is spreading. Please roll me D48.
Say that again.
D48. 2 days worth of hours.
D4. Alright, let me work that out again. So 4d8 is what you said.
I'll roll it for you here.
Yeah, please, because I was like trying to comprehend exactly what you said.
All right, you will have this rash for the next 31 hours.
Damn.
And while you have this rash, you are under the basic, not curse, I would say, but the charm of the Fae. And you have disadvantage on skill checks and saving throws until the rash leaves you. And I guess you are done with the fairy circle, having announced that you walk away from it. You get back to the cart. Horse Dog eventually comes back out from his little covered cart with some crumbs of what you now know to be rock on his face. He wipes them away. Says, had a wonderful meal. Are you all ready to get back on the road? Did what you needed to do?
Yeah, and I regret it, and I'm like trying not to scratch.
Yeah. Very nice. Okay. The horse dog says, let's get to it then. He climbs back up on the wagon, whips the oxen into shape, and begins trekking his way down the road once again. The road lasts quite a ways before disappearing entirely. It's less a road, more a path. And you begin having to make your way slowly through the sea of grass itself. But as the sun begins to set and as night begins to fall, you do smell the fires burning on the horizon. You get that kind of acrid taste of smoke in your nose and mouth. And sure enough, about an hour later, as we are approaching full dark, the town comes into view. It is a small kind of flat town where the grass around it has been harvested down. You see the excuse me, I'm sorry. You see that there's like large racks around that kind of main passageways of the town, and on these racks hang beasts, animals, skins, tans, and as you now close enough, you begin to get the waft of the smell of tanning, fresh tanning hide as well. The town is roughly alive, and as the horse dog comes in, a few people rush out to meet him and go, Horse Dog, it has been a good long while, a few years at least, since you came to visit us at Wayside. And he says, "Come, we'll put you up for the night so that you can rest tomorrow. Are these your companions?" He nods, says, "Yes, of course they are." And he kind of motions that you should follow this guy. And they take you to a small stable where they put away the oxen and put up the carts. He says, "I'll be staying with a friend of mine, but there is an inn here next to the stables if you wish to stay there. It'll cost you a few silver or whatnot. I will see you on the morrow, good friends." And with that, horse dog... I'm sorry.
Before he leaves, Gormak's going to look at the other guy and go, "I beg your pardon, sir, but we've been on the road for some time. What day is it?"
He says,
he wants Horsedog to be here for this.
He says, the first of fallow was a few days back. I believe that it would be the 5th or so of fallow.
Gormak just looks pleased, and he looks at Horsedog.
Horsedog's like, "Oh, all right. Maybe you were right about the whole time loop thing. I guess I apologize. Is that what you want from me?"
Gormak just polishes his seeker pin and says nothing.
Horsedog's like, all right, I apologize. I should have believed you. To be fair, it's kind of a wild story. Have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow, friends. And he hitches his trousers up and begins to waddle off towards the far side of town. He seems to greet people along the way. It seems to be a face that they've met. He's standing there with essentially a stable hand. And says, if you'll go over here, the Squawking Goose has a small set of rooms above the tavern. They should be able to put you up for the night, just for a couple of silver each. Anything special I need to know about the animals? He kind of looks to Rose and Millman, and Emily, and he says, "Any special requirements for these? Will they be staying with the oxen or with you?"
I'm not an animal.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry, we don't get your kind often. I presumed correctly, it seems.
So, is there like a small garden area or an area with more woods, like behind the stables, or which is like behind the tavern or somewhere around here?
You're looking for wood? Like most
Yeah,
of this...
for like trees or like a garden or something like that. Like a small group of trees does as well.
The grass sea has very few trees. They're spotted here and there throughout, but it's not the primary. There's not a ton of trees. I don't know. Let's see. Do you find a tree? By God, there's a tree behind the stable, and it's kind of a small, kind of willowy tree, branches hanging all over the place. It obviously is one that needs little in way of water and likes the sun.
Right. But if it's like a willow, then the branches are hanging down like this and give a little bit of shelter, right?
It hangs down a little bit, gives you the meagerest of shelters. Is some maybe 40 or 50 feet back behind the stables.
Right. So I'm going to say, this would do.
It's quite literally any tree in Australia. So
probably.
Excellent. So he says, then feel free to stay under the tree, then, miss. I am sure that none here will object.
I'll join you.
Well, you can. I have my technically as with my background, I would have a winter blanket, but I figured since Spriggans don't really light fires, like she has a blanket that looks like it's like moss, right?
Oh, okay.
Which you can pretty much just drape over herself, and it like keeps her as warm as a winter blanket would, right?
I like it. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you set up with the little winter blanket there, and like kind of a mossy hidden blanket. Emily, you fly off to nest with her. The stable hand kind of looks to Janlar and Gormak and says, "Oh, why don't we get on over to the Squawking Goose for you two then?" And he shows you the tavern room itself is kind of full of just like locals. They're all having just drinks and meals, and there's some friendly dice games going on in the background. You hear friendly conversation, and there's a like kind of warm fire in the hearth. The innkeeper, the Squawking Goose, is this kind of lean, thin gnome, and he stands on the top of the bar counter as he walks around filling drinks up with a pitcher that's oversized for him, and spots you as you come in and says, "Ah! More customers! Come, come! You look like strangers! You'll need a room for the night!"
What's the name of this town?
This town was called Wayside.
Wayside? I'm attempting to add Wayside to the map.
Sure.
I say, indeed, we will need a room. One for me and then one for my friend.
Ah, excellent. For 2 silver apiece, I'll set you up with a nice one. Do you need some fine Nomish mead? Huh? You won't get that everywhere.
I could use a meal.
Ah, a meal. Okay. Absolutely, absolutely. Our meal for the night is steamed yams with a nice cut of venison. It'll run you about 8 silver for the meal. I can get you a discount on the mead if you do that. I'll call it a gold piece for 2 glasses and the meal.
How much for just the yams?
Oh. Well, without the venison, the yams, we'll call it half the plate, half the price, eh? What do you say?
All right.
Excellent. Steamed yams for my esteemed friend. What's your name?
Gormak.
Gormak! Yes!
The Indomitable.
The Indomitable. Well, you are quite a swollen fellow, I must say. Big and bursting at the seams. Yes. For Gormak the Indomitable, some yams. For you, sir.
I'll just get a drink. I'd
Yeah.
order a glass of mead.
Alrighty. He charges you the full price of 3 silver for the glass of mead. Seems that the gnome's not giving you that great of a deal on offer. And he comes and fills up your a mug in front of you from this oversized pitcher. And eventually a server comes out, and also a gnome walks across the bar top and hands you a big plate of steamed yams.
Gormak's on board.
Nice.
Digs
Nice.
Hasn't
You
had
guys,
anything else to eat today but grass, so.
you've been grazing. Maybe you're full.
Yeah.
So as the night wears on, Rose and Emily, you are outside of town, underneath a tree, and so as you're sleeping, occasionally townsfolk will wander up and just kind of look at you, and they don't say much. Eventually they go about their business, but they seem very curious about having these newcomers sleeping under the willow tree outside the stables. They seem unwilling to get into conversation, or not unwilling, just hesitant to. They're not gonna instigate it themselves, but everyone. There's a large number of people, including children, that come to take a look at the Spriggan and the Pixie. As the night wears on into the dead of night, I believe that Rose has to sleep for the whole night, so you're down. But after about 4 hours of meditation, Emily, you look out into the plains, and you see these lights kind of dancing around, circling in the grass and the sea. The bright and blues and reds kind of dancing and swirling around with each other, kind of in a pattern, as your companion sleeps under the willow tree with you.
Well, I'll go and investigate.
Okay. Yeah. You begin flying out into the grass sea, following these lights, and they kind of slowly spin around and begin moving farther away from you as you follow them.
Lights.
I'm gonna go up a little bit now that he's made that noise and made me terrified of little lights.
Gormak's not there.
No, but now you've just piqued my paranoia. I think what I'll do is I'll try playing the harp to coax them back.
Oh. Okay. As you fly up to get an even better look and look down and begin playing the harp a little bit, you do see the lights kind of dance and flicker their way back towards you a little bit. They come forward, then they move away, and they come forward, and they're coming closer each time as you kind of are just fluttering in the air playing your harp. As they get within about 20 or 30 feet of you, as you've flown out into the grass away from town, you see that they are these strange fey-like creatures. They're green and blue-skinned, almost look like dogs. 4 legs with large kind of snouts, but attached to the top of their heads is this kind of long protrusion, and on top is these colored lights that can kind of dance and change as they move about, and they seem to have some kind of control over this. As they get somewhat close to you, you begin to hear kind of like a low growl come from them, like.
Can I? I'm going to cast Speak with Animals.
Okay. You cast Speak with Animals, and that low growl that you hear goes from like to like food.
You can't eat me.
Why not? You smell like food. You follow
I'm
the
not-
light.
I can make lights too. You won't like it.
The thing begins kind of like prowling its way a little closer to you.
Oh, I'm
As
gonna
you-
fly a good another. I'm 30 feet above them. So I'm
Okay,
gonna
yeah.
keep flying.
You fly well above it. It looks up at you and growls again, food, and attempts to jump up at you, but is incapable of jumping 30 feet in the air. It just
Yeah.
sits there and then begins barking and braying.
When it does that, I'm going to look down on them, and then I'm going to use my what is it called? I'm gonna use my pixie prowess, and just literally spray them with a fairy light.
You just like and fairy fairy fire in the form of your pixie power just sprays over them, and you will see that there are 8 of these like dog-like green and blue creatures that are now just glowing in hues of violet and pink and red, just outlined in the grass. They begin barking and braying and howling, like, and they're like angry at you to the point where, like, even with your Speak with Animals noise, they're just making angry noises.
Just yelling.
Yeah, basically. At
Is
that
there
point,
one that seems like the dominant one, like obviously a bigger one.
looking for like the
or-
leader of the pack.
Yeah, because I'm gonna.
Top
Top dog.
Yeah,
All right.
we all know you make the top dog your bitch, and then you have the pack at your beck and call.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you scan for a second. Give me just a quick perception check. Pretty easy DC. Just to make sure you can grab the right one. Yeah, perfect. You identify rather quickly that one of these, probably the first one that kind of approached you and you cast Speak with Animals on, is a little bit larger, a little bit haunchier. The others seem to take its lead a little bit in their barking and braying.
All right, I'm gonna vicious mockery it.
Okay. Well, it's going to try to save.
It will only take 1 damage. For some reason, I cannot roll any more than 2 on my.
It passes its save, shockingly. And you viciously mock it, and it just like starts braying and yipping louder. Like,
I really want to just throw oil on it, but this is a grass plane. It will only go bad for me.
Please don't set the tree on fire. I'm still sleeping there.
Yeah, so Rose, speaking of sleeping, there's loud braying, like probably 40 feet away from you. I imagine you're probably waking up at this point.
Right. I guess I realized that Emily isn't sleeping on my shoulder anymore. And I guess I rub my eyes and I slowly start moving towards wherever that noise is coming from.
It's quite obvious where that noise is coming from as you wipe away whatever's in your eyes. You see about 30 to 40 feet out into the plains away from your tree. There are glowing dog-like creatures covered in fairy fire, violets and pinks and reds, running around in the grass, barking and braying. They have lights that are like attached to them over their head that are following them around. And above them is Emily with her harp out, mocking them.
I rub my eyes again to make sure it's not a really weird dream, but I guess it's still happening as I'm looking. I'm like, Emily.
As
Emily.
you say that, I think I'm fed up with them. I'm going to thunder wave them.
No, Jesus, it's getting worse by the second.
Roll damage, please.
15. Thunder wave.
Okay, a thunderous clap just ignites across the plain. Boom! The dogs are blown back, and their yips go from kind of angry to like in pain, like, and they just like all begin rushing out into the plains away from you and the village. People begin walking out of their homes. Janlarn and Gormak, you are awakened by the thunderous clap that rang out across the plains. Everyone's looking around, very confused. A few of them see these colored shapes running off through the grass in the night.
Knowing my companions are outside, I'd probably go outside and check on them.
I fly real low in the grass and come back. Like,
Gormak's gonna like sit up, hearing the thunder, and he's just gonna like sniff the air to see if it smells like ozone or like a storm or anything. Like,
it does not. I don't think thunderclap actually induces lightning, does it? Yeah, no. So no ozone smell. It just smells grassy.
Gormak's gonna look around and roll over and go back to sleep.
Excellent.
With a blanket that's far too small for him.
It literally just covers his shoulder blade.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he's just holding it
It's like just off shoulder to like hip. And that's all the bigger this blanket is big enough to do.
I like it. All right, so Janlar, you go outside along with a lot of confused villagers in a milieu about town, and you do see some bobbing lights racing away in the distance. Emily is out there flying back very slowly in the grass, maybe to be unseen. I'm not sure, but Rose is definitely standing out there near her tree, probably as confused as everyone else. I don't know.
So, Rose, what happened?
I'm not sure. I think Emily made some enemies? Friends?
Frenemies.
Sometimes it's difficult to tell, you know. I'm not sure if they were having a party or I can't tell.
Is she all right? I don't see her anywhere.
Emily, are you okay?
Literally,
Emily.
that was the bass drop right there. Of the party. You'll see me just come flying through the grass. I'm like, I'm okay. Just some rude dogs. They tried to eat me. I saw the lights. I thought it was maybe some fairies I could hang out with. Sorry. It's like biggest smile, like innocence, like sorry.
Shake my head groggily and go back to sleep then.
All right.
It's a big section, a 20-foot cube of grass that's just flattened.
Yeah. It's like a crop circle.
There is. It's a crop square.
Yeah.
All right, so the rest of the night passes uneventfully. You wake up the next morning to a tavern of much fewer people than there were there the night before. There's probably only 2 or 3 tables having a quick breakfast. Rose, you see... Rose and Emily, because you were both outside, you see most of the village is going out into the plains, and they seem to be a hunter kind of trapper village. You would probably say close to 40 to 50% of this town left very early in the morning, as you were probably waking up, out with their traps and their bows, and have gone off into the plains in groups of 4. As you convene in the bar, the one notable person in the Squawking Goose is this very disheveled, beat-up guy. He has bruises on his body, his face, his hands. And he's just kind of forlornly sitting in the corner with what was clearly a very nice set of clothes before. Big billowing cloak of different colors. It looks like silk that's now muddied and beaten and torn up. He kind of looks at you all as you are gathering, and gives a good look around and says, "Hi, you're not from around here, are you? Got some time to spare for a poor soul lost his way a little?"
Emily will like step on his table and like, I don't like standing on the tables, but it's the only place I can actually see people. So like I'm really like hesitant. I gingerly step on the table. It's like, can I help you?
Gormak's gonna walk up as Emily's talking, and he's gonna get really close to this guy and like kind of like grab at his face a little bit to see if he's actually like shaped the way that he
you begin like
shaped.
pushing on his face, and he's just like, oh no. He looks like beseechingly at Emily, who stood on the table briefly. He's like, get your beast away from me, please.
He's not a beast. That's Gormak.
Tom.
He is a hero.
See if he's evil.
Tom probably has a... Does he have detect evil? Is that a priest thing?
He's a
Yeah,
cleric.
Yeah, Tom surprisingly has the spell prepared for exactly this moment. And
Well, after our last experiences, maybe Tom should just keep detect evil.
Somebody send him a
detect
memo.
evil does not ping for Tom. Tom kind of looks and says, "No, it seems legit."
All right. Gormak sits down heavily in a chair.
Says, all right, perhaps an introduction is in order.
I'm Gormak.
Hi,
Gormak. He's a hero.
I would say it's a Oh, he's a hero, you say? Well, a hero is what I need.
And you called him a beast.
He was attacking me with his fingers. I'm sorry. Look, I've been through some things. I reacted poorly. I apologize. Perhaps you may have even heard of me. I am Garrett. Garrett Goldenthroat. Bard
This
extraordinaire.
Garrett?
Yes, of course, Garrett. Garrett? Are there any other famous Garrett Goldenthroats?
I've never heard of Garrett. Continue.
Anyway, I am a bard from Coldwater, quite renowned in the Midlands. Although, I guess you haven't heard of me. Look, I was traveling near the old road, and a gang of orcs, they ambushed us. They decided that I sang prettily. I tried to dissuade them from their actions through song, as all good bards should. It did not
I don't
work.
know. Thunderclap works pretty well.
I suppose if you were to be a brute about it, This is not the point. Look, they captured me. I was forced to travel with them, and they kept me in their tribe as they wandered these forsaken plains. They forced me to perform like an animal every night. They didn't pay me a single silver. In fact, I got beaten regularly for performing not up to their strange standards. They wouldn't know a good song if it came up and bit them in the ass. And I digress. Look, the point is, I managed to escape. And here I am. And you would think, just go back to Coldwater. Go to your nice comfy bed. They have my prized possession. They took my harp. And it's not just any harp. Look, this was given to me by the ruler of Coldwater. Alright, this is a king we're talking about. I can't come back empty-handed. It has these strings. They never break. Never break! Well, if I stretch the truth a little bit, they might snap. But they never break. This is the point. I need that harp back. If you brave adventurers would be willing to go forth into the sea, get my harp for me, bring it back, I promise I would immortalize your names in song throughout the Midlands as the heroes you are.
I already do that.
Oh, are you a bard? I've never seen a pixie bard. Do pixies often have bards?
We all sing and dance. I just do it as a profession. It's a bit rude.
Oh.
Write
Again,
that in your book.
well,
Telling somebody they've never seen a pixie bard is rude.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize.
Gormac.
Look, I
rummages-
apologize.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, Gormac, what are you doing?
Well, Gormac starts rummaging through his things, and he finds a picture book, like a C Spot Run style, like really little kid picture book.
Okay.
And the title of it is Bimperford and Friends. And he turns to a page with a character named Garrett, and he points and he goes, "Are you Garrett?"
Not from the story. I do apologize.
Gormac looks really sad
It's like I saw my hero.
and just slides the book off and puts it back in his bag.
That is a very old tale. Some say it came from beyond the rifts. I could
For
recite
those
it
of
to
you
you
who
if you
don't
wish.
know, the first game I ever played with Greg, his character was named Garrett, and I think he may have been a bard.
I like bards. I tend to play bards. I
Yeah.
did not intentionally name this Garrett after my old character.
Okay.
No.
All right. I was wondering if it was the same guy.
No, no.
Somehow misplaced all the way over here.
No.
You know where they are.
Yeah, can't. Well, look. The tribe moves around all the time, but I do kind of know where they like to frequent. You see, there's a rather nice large pond over in the most kind of northern region of the Grass Plains. Before you get up to Elvendar and the forest, and their feasts often occur there. They have many feasts, so many feasts. Anyway, if you find that pond, you will find them. Otherwise, look for the roaring smoke. I know that they're not necessarily near us now, but you could find the main tribe of the orcs. They're not particularly inconspicuous.
What do we get out of it?
Song, good sir. You are a bard, good ma'am. I think. Are you a sir, ma'am? I don't know. Good pixie.
I'm in a dress. How can you mistake me for a boy one? So rude.
I
don't even
feel like
helping
pixies
this
are
guy.
always in dresses, aren't they? Look, I haven't really met
dresses?
many pixies. You don't see them in cold water. You mostly see water sprites and hags and... Oh, well, there was that one time we got the drowned woman. Look. The Fey influence in cold water is a mite bit different than around here near old Elvendar. I'm sorry, I didn't know. Obviously, we're on the wrong foot here. Look, You know the power of song and story better than anyone. I am quite famous. I will make you well known. I will immortalize you in song. Let's see, what could I do for your reward? I could give you lessons. I could teach you the art of singing and barding. Barding? Yes, that's my profession.
Gormak will say to Emily, he's like, I don't know, Emily. It might be kind of cool to have a song written about me, like one of your songs about that other hero.
I just stand there and stare at him like, they're all about you. Like, you just see it like.
But you don't ever name Gormak in them.
No.
And I don't know if Gormak knows that your poems
that's
are
the
actually
idea.
about Gormak.
You never put two and two together, but
Yeah.
they're all about. You're like, that tale's about a great warrior fighting
Right.
a bear.
Yeah, it'd be really cool to have a song
I
written
do
about
that.
me, Emily.
We'll have this conversation later. Like, tell you later. I look at the rest of the party. I'm like, I can't do it. I mean, I could steal a bow, a harp alone, but it's probably bigger than I am.
I'm sorry, did you say steal a harp? You mean for me, right?
Well,
You're not
unless
planning
you
on
want
stealing
to
my
just give it
harp.
to us.
I just turn around and look at him, and I'm like, you asked me to
Look, this is a very precious harp, and you said you were going to steal it. I just want to make sure that you are returning it to its proper owner afterwards.
The
Okay,
orcs have
in
it,
cold
which
water.
means they own
Okay.
it,
Very good.
and
thank you.
then we take it from them, which is stealing from their now owner.
I consider it repossessing. Because you see,
That's a
I'm the
different
owner. I'm the
thing.
only one you can steal it from.
Wouldn't the rightful owner be the king in Coldwater?
Well, he gave it to me. It was a gift. Does that not
Well,
make it
maybe
mine?
they said that you gave it to them.
They most certainly did not, he says, as he, like, shows his beaten appearance and dirty, run-down attire. It was most certainly taken from me.
Does he have any stuff on him, like, other than his, like, clothes?
Not at the table.
Does
No.
he have a drink or anything?
Yeah! Yeah, he's got, like,
Gor-
breakfast.
Gormak, like, reaches across and just grabs him by the ear, like, kind of painfully, and goes, give me your drink.
Take it, it's yours!
Gormak takes it and he goes, it was a gift. You gave it to me.
I suppose you're right. That is not how I got my harp. But I see your point.
That's how the orcs got it, though.
Roughly similar. Yes. Yes.
Gormak hands him his cup back because he didn't actually want it. He was just proving a point.
Well, thank you.
I take it no one else has an input?
All right.
Can we just
I
say,
mean-
yes, we'll take the job and never do it?
That's totally up to
No
you.
one cares.
Well, so priority one is still getting back to Sarmanath with
Exactly.
Horse Dog.
But we're gonna be in the grasslands for a little longer anyways.
Yeah. I guess we could we could tell him, all right, we're on important seeker business.
Oh, you're a seeker.
Yep. That's
Excellent. You're perfect. You'll make short work of the orcs, I'm sure.
Gormak nods.
Get the harp back.
We're on an important seeker mission, but if we come across the orcs, we'll recover your harp and we'll bring it back here.
Well, thank you.
But we're not necessarily going to go seeking them out.
Well, I hate to say this. I normally wouldn't wish this on anyone, but I sure hope they find you.
Gormak smiles again. Me too.
Ew, I've definitely found the correct one for this task. Okay, please bring my harp back to me. All right.
I'll turn to Genla and I'm like, could you mend his yucky clothes?
No.
He could clean them up with prestidigitation, technically.
I don't have
You could-
prestidigitation either.
Oh, I was gonna say you could
Tom does.
unoil them.
You can
Wait a
burn them
minute.
away, though.
Yeah, with firebolt.
That's
I mean,
also
I
clean.
do have prestidigitation. I could use it. No, that would just freak him out more.
All right.
That.
And so you leave a very befuddled but slightly hopeful Garrett Goldenthroat sitting in the Squawking Goose. And we have reached 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so let us go ahead and call this session here. I think this is as good a stopping point as we're going to find. So,
Like it.
let's get you some experience. Yeah, why don't you guys, I gotta do a little bit of calculation on experience. Why don't you guys do any like closing statements or shout outs that you want to make while I make some experience happen?
I am gonna drop the link to the podcast that I'm on in chat again here at the end for the people hanging out. I'm gonna drop the link that actually works, not the link I tried the first time that didn't.
It just went to a proxy.
If
And
you
I was
guys-
like,
If you guys are interested in that podcast, I play a Dragonborn warlock named Haruthax. So anybody who wants to check that out is certainly welcome to. The first episode technically premieres on Monday, but I believe it is in fact already on Spotify, so you could listen to it early.
I'm totally gonna go and do that later on.
I think the show really picks up around episode 3. The first couple recordings that we did, everybody was like getting used to having the mics and still trying to kind of dial in their voices, which I'm still trying to do. So it's fun, but a little bit of a slow start. But once we get to episode 3, we had like a proper combat and it really picked up. So
Awesome. Anybody else want to shout something out before we go?
I
Yeah,
hope
you
so,
can
'cause I feel like I talked too much.
No, you can catch me here on Twitch. I'm just Millman. You'll see me around. I play a crap ton of games, just like Greg plays Final Fantasy and Monster Hunter and everything all the time. Straight after this show, I'm going straight into another show because Sundays is D&D for me. So I've got two more after this one, so a 3 in total. Start at 5 or 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. and
It's a
end
long
at
day,
That's a
man.
long
Holy
day.
crap.
7, 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So if you need something to watch all of your Saturday/Sunday, depending on the side of the planet you're on, you can catch me playing something.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
And general shout out to the Boyd who drew some super adorable fan art so far. Linked it in the Twitch chat as well. So far it's Rose, Tom, Gormag is the latest one, and I think Janla has been done as well. So they are really
Everybody-
adorable.
Everybody except Emily so far. We just did
I'm
Gormak
so-
today. Or
She's
they.
probably in the picture. She's really small though.
They just did. Yeah, they just did. I don't know if the Boyd is a guy or a gal, so I'll just say they just did Gormak today.
Nice.
And he's a very swole boy.
He's a very cute swole boy.
Yeah.
It is very awesome.
Oh, these are good. I like these.
Yeah, I think they're very cool. Alrighty.
First ever fan art that someone has drawn of one of my characters.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah,
That is cool.
I've commissioned a friend to do art for
Yeah.
a couple of my characters before, but I've never had fan art of a
People
character.
kept
Probably
trying to
because
draw my first character on Neil's stream, Croak, and then like for whatever reason Croak was just impossible to draw. I just kept like I made him like the anti-ability to draw, and so it took a really long time for there to be fan art of one of my characters. It was cool though. People would like message me and be like, I don't like anything I made with Croak in it. I'm sorry. I'm like, I don't care. It's cool that you tried. Anyway, everybody in the party, please take home 486 experience points.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Yeah, you guys, I mean, you defeated the beast twice. I actually thought the beast was going to be much harder for you guys. I underestimated your ability as a party a little bit. And you broke out of a time loop and did some crazy stuff this episode, so you get
What
that
did we
opportunity.
start this episode at? Were we at exactly 300?
I think you were a little
320.
bit- Yeah, you were a
320.
little
That's
bit,
what I thought.
You were
Okay.
a little bit more than 300.
How much XP do I get for the fairy dogs?
That is calculated. That is in here actually.
Yeah,
I did give XP for that. For your portion of the fairy dogs, you took home 45 XP.
Beast.
Alrighty. Alright. Thank you all for coming and hanging out and playing with me. I had a great time. We will catch you all next week. Same time, same place. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.